My name is Dr. Samuel Nyama. I happen to be the Vice President of Public Health Alliance International Ghana. Outside of that, I'm a consultant, a public health consultant. I work with Dev Africa Development Advisors, which is a consulting organization based in the US. But this project, Public Health Alliance International Ghana, it's something that I'm passionate about. And yes, it's for one of the projects that we are handling that we are here this morning. So first and foremost, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to all of you for joining us this morning for this occasion. Your presence definitely adds a lot of value and worth to this occasion. I'm very, very grateful. And a special welcome goes to the excellencies gathered here, our distinguished guests, whose support and dedication to this cause, have been nothing short of remarkable. I would also like to acknowledge the incredible effort of my team and event organizers, the volunteers, the sponsors, who have all played a significant part to organizing this event and having all of us here. Without your tireless work and generous contributions, this event would never have been possible. Your commitment to putting smiles on the faces of our little ones and fostering hope in various homes in the country at large is something that is deeply appreciated. And we know that once we set out to do that, then we are going to bring our community a lot closer and make events like this a resounding success. So this morning we are gathered here for two main reasons, among others. One, to deliberate on ways that we think we can help to prevent or mitigate the devastating consequences of burns in our homes. And then two, to pledge our resounding support, each and every single one of us, to what we have committed to work on as far as this project is concerned. And as we move through the day, what I would want to encourage all of us to do, to engage one another. We have a lot of people here with diverse expertise, experience, connections as well. And so even as you are here, try to, engage people, build the connections that you can build, and then see where we can forge synergies. That is very important. This project is not a project for health personnel, or project for the fire service, project for the police, or project even for the government. The government is never really up to the task. And that is not something that is pertinent to us here in Ghana, all over the place. And sometimes individuals, organizations, development partners have to come together to see how we can help, to augment the effort of the government. So I hope that even as you are here, try to engage one another, and then let's see where we can find the synergies, and then, work quite closely. All right. So I wouldn't want to talk too much because we have a number of items lined up. But before I conclude, I want to remind all of us again that, this task is not simple. Once we start to share the statistics, and then we start to open up certain information that most of us here are not privy to, as far as fires in their homes and child burns are concerned, we would get to realize the enormity of the task. But in that same vein, I have no shred of doubt that all of us gathered here are poised to face that task that I'm talking about. And today, I'm hoping that even as we engage, as we Georgia, we'll be able to find practicable solutions to some of these problems. And then once we go out there to implement, let's all come together with a concerted effort, and then hope that we are going to achieve the aims and objectives that this project sets out to do. So once again, I would like to welcome each and every single one of you. Good morning.
A very warm welcome to all present here. And I would like to give protocol. Dr. Opuku Ware Ampoma, the CEO of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, and consultant plastic surgeon. Then other healthcare professionals and Excellency Hussein Ganga, Ambassador of Turkey to Ghana, and fellow advocates for public health and distinguished members and Mr. Kufo. Good morning once again to all of you. It is with great honor and a profound sense of duty that I stand before you today at this pivotal event organized by the Public Health Alliance International Ghana. They are focusing on the critical issue of pediatric burns and domestic fire safety. As the CEO of Atlantic Life Sciences Limited, a company dedicated to provide innovative solutions to public health challenges, I am deeply committed to the cause we gather to address it today. As we launch the nationwide domestic fire safety campaign, we must acknowledge the profound impact that burns have on individuals and their families, both financially and psychologically. Burns not only inflict physical pain, but also leave behind lasting emotional scars, often resulting in an enormous burden on patients and their loved ones. According to the WHO, children are particularly vulnerable to burns. Burns are the fifth most common cause of non-fatal childhood injuries, and a considerable number of burns injuries in children result from improper adult supervision or child maltreatment. One of the glaring challenges faced by burn patients is the difficulty in obtaining the best and most appropriate treatment for their specific degree of burns. In many cases, the expertise and resources required for optimal care may be scarce, leading to suboptimal outcomes and prolonged suffering. Some families resort to traditional treatment methods that may worsen the patient's conditions or expose the burn site to serious infections. It is imperative that we address these challenges head-on, ensuring that patients receive the optimal care and support needed for their recovery. The pharmaceutical company has a pivotal role to play in collaboration with other healthcare providers and families to devise tailored treatment regimens for various burn cases. At Atlantic Life Sciences Limited, we produce high-quality intravenous infusions, small volume parenterals, and many other injectable for the pain management and key antibiotics, which are focused for the using of the prevention and the treatment of various infections and may also arise during the management of burn patients. In conclusion, I pledge my unwavering support for this project and reaffirm Atlantic Life Sciences' commitment to improving public health outcomes to all. We are committed to actively contributing to the campaign success, leveraging our expertise and resources to make a meaningful impact on the prevention and the treatment of pediatric burns. Let us work tirelessly to ensure that no child suffers needlessly from preventable burns and that every family can feel safe and secure in their own home. Thank you once again.
Protocols duly observed. I would like to say that I'm very grateful that we're having such an event. Having been working in the field of plastic and reconstructive surgery in Ghana since about 22 years now. It has been my wish to see a lot more being done in the space of advocacy, because burns are one of the big challenges confronting us, not just our nation, but globally, and especially in the developing world. A burn is one of the most significant traumatic events a person can, encounter and still survive. But the morbidity, or that the suffering that a burn produces, is unsurpassed by any other injury. Because even if you get burns as a child, let me walk you through the journey a typical child will go through. Apart from the fact that the burn can cost you your life, it also causes a lot of disfiguring, because especially when it's the burns of the face. We all know that our society, even whatever job that you are in, nobody likes to see a horribly scarred face. And so the stigma and all that will follow that child. Sometimes the burns get so bad they cannot even shut their eyes. So they get dry eyes, and if it's not treated, they can lose their vision. Apart from the fact that sometimes, around the nose, they get, blocked, breathing passages, struggling with breathing and all that. They have to go so many different types of surgeries. Even for the ladies, the girls, they get burns on the chest. As they grow up, the scarred skin cannot stretch to contain your growth, because your normal skin is quite elastic. So as the child is growing, you find out that it gets to a point where they cannot move an arm or a finger or a leg or something like that. So some surgery or intervention will have to be done, to be able to get them to be able to move properly. And for females, sometimes we even have to, at puberty, we have to do operations to release the scars on the chest so that their breasts can develop. So you can see the kind of trajectory. And then burn scars are also prone to forming cancers. So apart from all this suffering, you can also develop cancer within the burn scar at 10 years plus after the initial injury. So you can see that, the kind of suffering and pain that a burn patient goes through is really, really a lot. And so that's why prevention is key. And if you look at all over the world, burns constitute a huge public health concern. Previously, we were concerned about malaria, the deaths from malaria. Malaria deaths are dropping significantly because of a lot of the interventions that have been done. But burns still accounts for around 300,000 deaths every year. So this is a huge, huge, huge figure. And if you consider the fact that burns are largely preventable. In fact, if you look into how burns happen, 80% of them is due to some carelessness, on the part of the victim or the caregiver in the case of a child. And so that's why prevention is very, very important. Now, if you look at even mortality figures, for instance, in the developed world, mortality from burns is about 0.8 per 100,000 population, whereas in our part of the world, it's about 10.3 per 100,000 population. You can see the factor is more than a factor of 10, and so that is in fact more than a factor of 100. So you can see that this is something that is very, very, very significant, and we need to look at it closely. Now, if you have little resources, what are you going to do? How best do you position your resources? Because the truth is that yes, we will do in our bit as clinicians and caregivers. We are training more people, more doctors in reconstructive surgery. We are training more nurses. We are trying to improve the quality of our hospitals, etc. But it's like having a leaking roof, for instance. You can be in the house and trying to use a bucket to catch all the rain that's coming. But I think the simple thing is to fix your roof first. And I think when you do that, that's the prevention. Then it makes life easier, because no amount of hospital care can catch up, if you still have a high incidence of needless burns occurring. Occasionally, we do get burn disasters where large numbers of people get burnt. And when this happens, we rally around and have a conversation around burn prevention, etc. And then that's typical in this country, after a while, everybody goes to sleep. I'm sure my colleagues from the fire service remember the June 3rd disaster and many other incidents that have happened where fire service people are called in to go and rescue people. And you can see that from their chest, you can see, what issues led to, these fires and these deaths. And the sad thing is that most of them are largely preventable. and there was enough time to have taken action if we were minded to do so. So having a group that is going to advocate for prevention of burns is really, really a very important cause. And I like the fact that they're focusing on children, because if you look at the epidemiology as well, over 50% of the burns occur in children, young children. And in fact, the commonest cause of burns in young children is by hot liquids. So usually in the kitchen or in the washroom. And in fact, if you look at a typical dwelling place in here, you find that there's the typical compound house. There's no clearly demarcated kitchen. The kitchen is to be out of bounds for children.
So, standing on all protocols first and foremost, and acknowledging what the theme is while we're here, promoting domestic fire observation, of, if you will, and prioritizing children's safety. From my perspective as a layperson, and in my mind, what this means to me as a layperson is that it is of key importance. It is of key importance first and foremost to the nation, because our most valuable or precious resource as a nation is the human resource. A healthy population or human resource is the key to national development. So the nation's human resource can be, well, actually it is adversely affected by the impact of lack of fire safety. So we want to really thank our fire service personnel, the professionals who are here, who have to deal with this. And then, of course, all the other professionals, the medical professionals, chairman and CEO over here, who is in the pharmaceuticals, which work closely with the medical staff, because post-traumatic care, if you can't avoid it, you have to engage in proper or quality post-traumatic care, and that's what he deals with. So thank you all. So for me, number one, it affects the nation. Number two, it means what it means to the victims themselves, the stigma, the psychological and emotional impact. And if they're a child, they cannot articulate what they're going through. But for a more adult person, they have to deal with being disfigured, how people receive them, how people react towards them. It can affect you emotionally. It can affect everything that you do psychologically, because you have to present a certain way. Unfortunately, whether we like it or not, society has standards. We look and we immediately judge, not knowing what the situation is or how the person has ended up this way. But immediately it's kind of like, okay, I don't want to deal with that. So doctor was saying that you find people, even in the work area, they will not present you in a certain position because you're disfigured or because you present a certain way. So that is a lot for the individual to deal with. For the families, the financial burden, the emotional burden, it also affects directly their ability to function in society. Maybe it's a single earning, income family. The father now has to direct all the finances to, the health care of the child. He's not going to let his child die, if possible. So he's going to have to find other ways and means and, fund the health care. So that impacts the family directly as well. Emotionally, societally, what the society, you didn't take good care of your child, look at that family, they got this, and now look at the child. The stigma of it also affects the family. Thirdly, from my personal perspective, it's more a question of empathy. I wouldn't like to find myself or my child in that position. So if I'm finding that someone has been impacted in such a way, or their child, I feel a certain sympathy and empathy towards that. So for me, being here today, I understand that Chairman has been more involved in this cause from the beginning. I am really just learning, like most of us here, and I think this is very, very important. So I want to really challenge and encourage everybody who is here to support this cause. And with that, I want to say thank you for your attention.